How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Dice Checks. Good to see you all again, and this time I have Jacob with me. How are you today, friend?
Good, and you?
Great. Today we're going to be talking about one of Jacob's favorite things to do in the game, which is breaking it. Not really. We're going to be talking about loopholes, plot holes, character creativity.
It's a polite way of saying it.
And some few other things. So sit back and roll initiative because we're about to get into it. Sit back and roll initiative because we're about to get into it. So give them a breakdown of what do you play?
I play a half-elf multi-class with Bard and Rogue. Mainly Rogue, but I started off being a Bard.
Yeah. And what is the name of this amazing, fantastic Rogue Bard?
Jack.
And?
Jasper.
And?
Duke of Valen.
Yes.
Yes.
Many names. But one of your favorite things, and I'd say this is your go-to skill offering to the group, is creativity and finding the cracks in the game.
Yes.
To manipulate to your advantage.
Yes.
Not a negative thing, but definitely a frustrating thing from time to time.
Not for me.
Oh, sometimes. But I enjoy it. It's fun. It's kind of like a chess battle sometimes.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, as a GM, you have to realize that you're going to make mistakes. I've made a ton, and your players are just going to cause you to make more. Just because they test it. They stress test everything. You especially, typically, I give you the things that I'm most worried about because you're going to find the cracks in them. Which will make me oh, cool, fix that next time.
I feel like that's my job as a player.
Yeah, and I happily accept it sometimes when I actually need it. So it's fun. But one of my biggest mistakes I've made for our game is the race against time I've set up, I feel. In my game, I made it so that they are questing for these powerful weapons, artifacts, and other advantageous things to fight the greater evil, but the bad guys know about them too, and it's a race to see who gets them first, and this caused a problem that I was not expecting. You guys decided to take up that challenge wholeheartedly and have given yourselves almost no free time to goof off.
Yeah, none. Oh, no, I've tried to give myself free time.
Yeah, you make time. You give yourself concerts.
But the party, or at least some of the party, is no, we need to stick to this. We have to. I'm okay, if everyone votes for it, fine, I'll go along with it. But I would like to sit back and try to enjoy the world that we are in, that you have created for us. You know what I mean? I'd like to do that as well.
Yeah, and that's my fault completely. Y'all have missed so many side quests that I can't blame y'all for not doing. It's because y'all don't have time to do it.
Remember that worm that the huntsman was like, "Hey, we have that big giant worm up north."
You realize
everyone in the northern part of the country
to the entire country.
It's just dead.
So that's on my fault, and I will say that I am making efforts to correct that real quick between the two of us. Don't worry. But that's one of my biggest mistakes, I feel, is that I set up a race against time that has caused everything to speed up in a way that I was not expecting. So what are some of the things that you feel like you've goofed up on? Because just like GMs make mistakes, players sometimes make mistakes.
What do you mean goof up on? Fudged rolls? Or
not
fudged rolls. But not fudged rolls, but
some things that things went unexpected to how you were going at.
Well, there's a few times. One time I tried to... What was that trash thing? This is at the beginning. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, the LTF.
Yeah, that did not work out very well. But
I found you attempting to ride a giant trash monster to be absolutely
Oh, no.
amazing.
I thought it was a great idea when I did it. And I really had... It's actually one of the most memorable experiences. I did enjoy it. It was funny and fun as a player. As a character, it did not work out very well.
That was actually one of my more favorite maps for big boss battles I've made.
Yeah,
because it was in a sewer, and it was just this sloth of just disgusting ooze going into this dump of water that the OTF was living in. So it was pretty much like a cage fight. That every time you tried to climb out of it, it'd be so slippery, and because you'd be covered in sludge, that you just fall back in.
And the spoofs. They're spoofs.
Floofs. Yeah. Wild magic sorcery is fun. And summoned a couple of those.
What else? When I first started off, I had the idea that I would run an orphanage later on in the campaign. and I would use the kids as a sweatshop to produce goods that I would sell for
not
Christmas.
get away with that.
Yeah,
I could not let you have that.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well, but that didn't stop me
However,
from trying.
that did lead to one of the funniest things that's happened.
Yes, I was getting to that.
And when you had actually needed to talk to an orphan that you were going to ask by demanding he come live with y'all.
Yeah.
Because you actually enjoyed him, but besides that. And he turned it on you. What exactly happened?
He was homeless, and I was like, hey, you want to have a home? And he was like, stranger danger.
Yeah, what did you roll for that?
I rolled a 1.
He was stockaded for a couple of days, and actually you kind of backtracked the quest a little while.
Yes, it did.
Everybody
had to chill out there while everyone in the town, except the party, except for Drake.
Because some of the parties joined in and also threw tomatoes at you.
Drake, me and him don't get along very well. And that just gave him an opportunity. He was like, hey,
throw
tomatoes at the guy that's in the stockade.
Another good one when we were talking about the plot against Drake, the dead parents.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a mistake waiting to happen.
I feel like that'd be beautiful if we could pull it off. Just every opportunity that we tried to do it. Me and another character, Soren, who was also kind of chaotic. We're a little different on chaotic, but we were getting along at the beginning. He was one of the only people I got along with really well.
Soren is the concept of freedom in chaotic. You're the chaotic version of chaotic.
Yeah.
You were a walking whirlwind of insanity in the game sometimes.
Well, early on, I mean, I've got a little better with it now. I'm not as too devious and
character development.
But so early on, me and Drake was also getting on Scott's nerve because he was kind of a white knight, kind of like goody two shoes kind of character, and so he was getting on both of our nerves because Soren wanted to do stuff and I wanted to do stuff, and he would always argue against it. And so we had the idea that we would dig up his dead parents,
which they had just found. That was the first major quest in the game, was finding that his parents were murdered.
And we found out, I think we buried one of them, and one of them was already buried.
Yes.
And we were planning on digging them both up and relocating the bodies somewhere where he didn't know. Or putting them in the bag of holding and just not telling him that his parents' bodies were in there.
For those confused, the bag of holding works by thinking of the object that you know is in there and pulling it out. If you don't know something's in there,
also more ironic, Drake was the holder of the bag of holding at the time.
Yes.
So I mean, we pulled out this whole elaborate plan, and we were only given we only took the opportunity. I want to say we were only given.
Yeah, you didn't fight for it.
We only had the opportunity to do it once, and when we did that, someone was at the grave. Another relative of Drake was at the grave. So we're like, I guess we can't do it tonight. So, but we never really had the time to go back and do it. Plus, Drake kind of chilled out with that. So
it was an amazing running gag, though. For the
I really wanted to pull that off. I really want to pull it off.
If you would have pulled it off, either nothing I could do if you would have got away with that. It's legit. The parents would have probably just rotted away in there until somebody said slime and they suddenly pull out an oozed eyeball. Yeah. For those who don't know, things do decay in the bag of holding, and you can kill somebody if you leave them in the bag of holding for too long. Yeah. There is an air limit. Which you almost tried, but somebody accidentally metagamed and took away that fun surprise.
No, I wanted to put a bag of holding inside the bag of holding.
Yeah, but Zach had said what would happen with that.
Yeah. that was...
Try that for those who don't know. It'll be a very fun experience that your DM will laugh for a long time.
On the other hand... Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. You just do it.
So one of your other things is you're really good at finding the loopholes and plot holes that I mess up.
Yeah.
Alright, because... Especially back when we first got started, I was still new at creating very hardcore, very well-based plots. It was still a new concept because I wasn't running a module.
Yeah, we're all new at the game. But
yeah. But you had this just natural talent to where anywhere that I was unexpected, you would just find a crack and completely throw off the plan. Which was so much fun to watch half the time.
Half the time?
Other time it's like, oh, what do I do?
Should have been in my shoes. It was fun all the time.
I'll never forget, you wanted to take the trees of the druids to make weapons.
No, that's not what I wanted them for. What I wanted them for, because we just got, invaded our keep. We had a keep, and it was invaded, and someone burnt down or broke down our
Trolls ransacked the door.
Okay, yeah. So we didn't have a door, and I was like, well, the druids have really good wood. And they were like, oh, we have this great wood that we make armor stuff out of. It's like, we could use some of that wood to make a new door. I mean, like, one of the other questions, like, and if that was plausible, yeah, weapons and stuff would have been thing.
Totally.
But all I ended up getting out of the druids was a bunch of free melons.
Yes, which you scared the people with because you'd be the first one every morning to get fruit.
Yes.
It was free food every day. And you're like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. They had good melons.
But you've done some pretty interesting antics, randomly jumping out of windows because they're there.
Yeah. Never woke up, just do a front flip out the window.
Yes. But also throwing amazing benefit concerts for injured people. Or one of my favorite moments of your loopholes and creativity, faking a death of a player.
Well, yeah,
that
was really good.
That will go on as history as one of the best things I've seen you do when it comes to creativity. So I had given him some really cool magic items that you really liked. I gave you a dagger that does no damage but heals, and also gave you a bracelet that, when put on, causes sleep.
Yes.
So, being an assassin, he found use in both of those.
Yeah,
You never used the bracelet till that time, too.
Yeah, well, I didn't have it much prior to that.
Yeah. So what happened was they were underwater. They were interacting with a bunch of Triton merfolk. Yeah. And one of them wasn't too nice of a guy and set up one of the party members to kind of be murdered. And as a scapegoat kind of thing. So the party got separated, and you guys watch as Soren is being rushed by a bunch of mermen saying, "Traitor, kill him, he's escaped," etc. And what do?
I ran at him with a dagger. He didn't know what I was doing.
No.
Yeah, he had no idea what I was doing. He just knew I was running at him with a dagger. So I ran up and I jumped on him and stabbed him with the healing dagger, which did no damage, but healed him actually. And I kind of whispered as like, "Play dead," and it didn't work out. Well, I mean, it worked out in the end.
It worked out because of your end mostly. Because I made both of you roll performance. You rolled really high.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Soren's over here acting like the raccoon from over the hedge. Just, death is upon me. Goodbye, this underwater crusade that we have triumphed over.
Yeah.
Farewell.
It was a very dramatic scene.
Yes. Then the bad guy comes up, thanks you, thinking that you have fallen into his trap, and what do you do?
Well, at the time we're going against Lava.
No, you were going against an Aboleth.
I was like, okay. And it was doing some stuff with the mind, and I told him that I had a bracelet that kind of stops that, and I convinced him to put it on. Well, he puts it on, and he fell asleep, because that's what the bracelet did. Whoever wears it willingly falls asleep. So then I convinced everyone else that this guy, the Aboleth, has somehow knocked him out, and that we need to take him to
the Aboleth
to get fixed. And then everybody's like, "Oh, that's a great idea." So that's what we did.
And they never saw him again.
Yeah. He didn't return to the... Of course, the Aboleth returned to the village, and then everyone was dead except for 2 people. But
yeah. That was a lose-lose situation for you guys. It was which evil did you want to side with?
I won. I got a really cool dagger out of it.
So, what were some of your favorite moments that we haven't talked about so far for the story?
Oh, let's see. I mean...
Because you've pulled some crazy stuff that we haven't talked about. You've drinked a water elemental.
Yeah, I did do that, but
you own a half robotic creature.
Well, it's kind of not moving. It's kind of like
and you've tried convincing the party to take rest in a brothel.
I did do that as well. You're right. One of the things I did remember that I did like was we were becoming social elite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're being honored by a town.
You're being recognized by the king.
Yeah, and so they had like a whole gathering. Everybody come and viewed this ceremony. And during the ceremony, I made a crack at Drake's dead parents. I basically called him an orphan.
And being
kind of a little insensitive, but
honorable person that he was, he decided that was the perfect moment to attack you.
Yeah, he tried to strike me with his fist. Yes. At least he is kind of
which was a strength check, which has very low strength.
Yeah, he had like negative.
And you just did.
No, that's not what I did.
Oh yeah, Soren stopped it and made it go.
Yeah, what I did was I turned it into a fist bump.
I forgot about that.
And like everyone was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Because I think you really rolled performance for that actually to make it believable.
And you passed.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring up the sword?
Oh God.
And how you activated it.
Well, in one of our quests, we went to a cave. I forget it was a huntsman.
Yeah. They found a magic sword, which I admit at the time I was really into Critical Role, and I had based a sword off of Craven Edge for those who watch Critical Role. Similar, not the exact same, but it had the same concepts of being fed.
Yeah, the more.
Yeah, it was based off of a. I don't think I told you this, so here's a fun fact. It was based off of a ghoul demigod called Dorsane, and hence it was named Dorsane's Tooth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it actually had an agenda, believe it or not.
Oh.
So he found out that killing stuff increased its power and your power. And
strength.
How did you choose?
And I didn't have very good strength, so I was like, yeah, this works out okay.
And what did you and Soren decide to do?
Well, I decided that I thought at the time, because I wasn't for sure yet, if I killed something and it missed the wisdom save, then I would gain a strength permanently. Or, well, at least if I fully stacked it, maybe something would happen to the sword where it would get stronger. So I bought a bunch of bunny rabbits and went outside the city, and well, Soren came with me. Because we were bonding at the time.
Plus,
friends.
you needed somebody to carry all the rabbits.
Yeah, I needed somebody to help me with the rabbits, and we got outside the city, and I slaughtered a lot of rabbits.
Yes, enough to activate the sword, which possessed you.
Well, the reason I did activate it, because I rolled like a really bad roll.
You rolled, I think, like a 3.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So it possessed you. It changed into what this, basically for those Soul Calibur fans, it changed into this gruesome Soul Edge looking sword. And you went on a murder frenzy starting with Soren.
Yeah.
You almost one-shot him.
Almost one-shot Soren.
And then the the player of Soren, decided to write down fear of Jack as a new flaw.
Yeah, so when we were in the same room, he was scared of me.
Yes.
Alone, not yet.
And something you didn't think about, afterwards you went on just a murder frenzy for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Waking up in a pile of corpses.
You know what? No one's ever mentioned that. No one's like, where'd all these missing people go?
I know. Oh, I know. Y'all forgot about it. I did not.
Okay.
It's just, I want to save that for a special moment when y'all are not racing against time.
Well, while I was recovering, because I stayed up all night killing people, and apparently I woke up the next day with like 3 points of exhaustion, so I was like, I'm just going to sleep it off for the next couple of days. And while I was doing that, the group...
told by Soren, who fled the scene.
Was unanimous into saying that, yeah, we're going to get rid of the sword. So they sent the sword to the plane of fire, right?
Yes, they randomly threw it in a portal plane, which happened to be the plane of fire. And you're very excited about going to the plane of fire.
I am. I don't want the sword back, but it was a sentient, it was kind of like, it had...
it said it was going to get revenge.
Yeah. And not on me.
No, on all of you.
Well, why? I was unconscious.
Because you were the part of the group that banished it.
Okay.
But
anyway, I want to meet it again. Just to meet.
Well, you have business in the fire plane.
Yeah, I have to go there anyway.
So it's going to be interesting to see if you run into it.
Yeah.
Like, what possibly could it possess in the fire plane? It's just fire,
Demon blade and a fire plane. That sounds.
Like Drake told me, it's like, what's there to be in the fire plane? Just little like fire lava creatures that are beasts and not very sentient.
Just lava cubes, man.
Yeah, it's like what could it possess? It can't be a threat. Stay tuned for that fun story coming up in the future.
Yeah.
So you've played as a bard, as a fighter for a little while, and as a rogue. What's some advice for these combinations? And as a grand scale, what are your advice for people who want to multi-class?
Okay. I didn't spend much time on fighter, so I can't really tell you much about that.
That's fair.
Bard is really good as a support character.
Yeah.
What I've also learned about Bard is that if you have bad stats, you go multi-class in the Bard because it will help you out a lot. You basically get your proficiency modifier as your score. So with a lot of stuff. So especially with Rogue, because Rogue gives you also more
gives you double
proficiencies. Along with Jack of all trades, which gives you half proficiency, everything, more proficiencies. Yeah. And then, so with that, I was able. They complement each other very much, and I was actually make pretty good rolls.
I don't think I've seen you roll lower than like a 20 unnatural in stealth in like 3 months.
No, I have not. I have my dexterity's. I'm like we're at what 15 now, level 15.
Yeah.
And my dexterity's at 3 as a rogue, but I don't
dexterity modifier, not your stats.
You're right. Yeah. No, my stats.
People are gonna look at you like, What are you?
And you haven't rolled less than a 20? What? No, but yeah. So with reliable talent, especially now, I roll usually pretty high on almost all our rolls.
Oh, it's amazing, especially when you have items that boost that even further.
Yeah.
But what about multiclassing? Do you have any advice for multiclassers? Because you seem to love the concept of multiclassing.
I do. I think that multiclassing does, even though you do lose some in-game bonuses that you would get by sticking with one class, I do feel like multiclassing does give you more than those benefits in-game.
If you combo, right?
And yeah, you have to do something that complements one another.
You're looking at, for another game, Fighter Paladin.
Yeah, I want to do a Fighter Paladin and then in a future session or future.
I think that'd be a fun combo. And we've seen what a Bard Rogue can do, and I'm pretty sure for most people who think of multi-class, that's one of the most popular ideas is a Bard Rogue. They fit just so perfectly together in both mechanics and roleplay.
Yeah. And then you get a few spells out of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, and usually you can get like a few low level support spells. And that's not
bad. That bleed very well into your assassin rogue.
So
that's pretty much it about when it comes to messes ups and having also fun. What would you say for people who want to be creative? Like, do you push people to try and be as creative as possible? Or do you think they should work with it?
What are you talking about? Like with multiclassing, or are you talking
about just in the game? I love when y'all are creative.
I mean, always be creative. Always try to throw a curveball if you can. I mean, it leads to really interesting events. If you can throw your DM for a loop, things are going to get.
Oh yeah, and I love being thrown for a loop.
Like things will get very.
I can't promise it's going to happen, but I'm going to always give you at least a chance. As Matt Mercer always says, you can certainly try.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to see my friends again, you've now been introduced to a few of them, make sure to let us know. We'll try and pull them back in, and there's still some more coming in the future. Any other things you want to say to the audience before we leave?
I think that's about it.
Thank you for coming on board, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, it's been a fun time seeing y'all. Have a day by me. Morvar, take us home.